So, I've been living in Japan for a while now, and as an American, I think it's safe to say that there are a lot of things here that are just so much better than back home. But not everything. So today, let's play a little game of versus, and compare some things about Japan and America, head to head, and see which is better. Disclaimer! These are obviously just my opinions. Please don't try to kill me, thank you. So let's start with summer. Right now, at the time of filming this, it's the end of August, almost September, peak summer. But before I get into it, let me go grab a cold drink from the vending machine real quick. I want to cool off a bit, and also, I want to soak in some sun. Summertime! I was lied to, alright? Everybody always talks about how Japan is one of the best places to experience all 4 seasons, but that shit's a lie. Back home in the US, summertime means blue skies and hot weather. Even where I'm from, Washington State, which is well known for being rainy like all of the time, we still have a very defined summer, which you can usually count on for having really great weather. So what the hell is this? It's just rainy. Disgustingly humid. It sucks. You know, I want beach trips with beers and barbecue and bikini babes, but no. Instead, I'm sitting indoors genuinely concerned that if the rain keeps up, I'm gonna have to start gathering 2 of every animal. Now, I need to add a disclaimer, and that's the fact that I live in Aomori Prefecture, the snowy, forested boonies of Japan's main island. Like, for example, I went to Tokyo recently, and any time that I said I lived in Aomori, they looked at me like I was a Make-A-Wish kid.
Oh, wow, a foreigner. Oh, hello. Oh, where are you from?
Oh, yeah, I'm American.
Do you live in Japan?
I do live here. I actually live in Aomori.
Oh my god, Aomori? Heavens to Murgatroyd. Oh, that's crazy. All the way up there? I've never met somebody from Aomori before. Do you eat, like, real food up there, or just rocks and bugs and stuff?
My point is that Aomori is about as far away as you can get from the Palm Springs of Japan. And compared to southern Japan, where summers are actually sunny, I mean, still ridiculously humid, but I should have expected this in Aomori. And yeah, I know, Japan famously has a rainy season, but that's supposed to be from June to July. It's currently the end of August, almost September, and it's still pouring. Washington is essentially the Aomori of the US. It's the forested north that rains all the time, but even it has great summers. So I'm sorry Japan, but this point goes to America. For this, I'm talking about the local stuff, alright? I'm not talking about the national, like, Thanksgiving style parades. And out of the gate, I gotta be honest, Japanese parades be cool as hell. Back home, parades are usually a high school marching band, a drywall company's SUV firing off candy into the crowd, and a 2005 Corvette with Deborah, the bitchy PTA mom who's trying to take chicken nuggets off the school lunch menu, doing a princess wave in the back. Look, it's not to say I don't enjoy parades back in America. They're usually a great way to bring a community together, and I got a lot of good parade memories growing up. Although being in the high school marching band during 95-degree weather, wearing full wool and badly playing jock jams, it's not one of them. So I think for this point, it's less of me saying that I don't like parades in America, and it's more saying that Japanese parades are just way cooler. The town I live in recently did one of its big summer parades, and whether it be the amazing parade floats called Nebuta, the delicious festival food, the beautiful kimonos, the fireworks, or the traditional dancing and music, the Japanese version genuinely has some magic to it. So, as much as parades in America will always have a place in my heart, Japan gets this one. Sorry, Deborah. Maybe if you sat out of the PTA meetings and actually took care of your sons Jaden, Caden, and Brayden, then parades would be a little more magical back home, now wouldn't they? Look, Japan is one of the culinary capitals of the world. Food here is incredible, expertly prepared, and overall downright delectable. But good God Almighty, does breakfast leave a lot to be desired. You know, back home we got pancakes, bacon, 9 million kinds of eggs and potatoes. Even for easy breakfast, we have a ton of different things to spread on toast and enough cereal in the aisle to give somebody a stroke. But here in Japan, I'm sorry, breakfast is severely lacking. Do you like having last night's cold fish at 7 a.m.? How about 12 different tiny bowls of random ass vegetables, rice, and other side dishes served ice cold? And how about washing that down with a nice creamy bowl of miso soup? Yeah, and you know what, I'm gonna stop myself on that one. Miso soup's actually like banging. But my point still stands. Japanese breakfast just doesn't have that satisfying and filling factor that American breakfast does. Like, no matter what, anytime I finish a Japanese breakfast, I'm still like just as hungry as I was when I started. Even the easy options like toast and cereal will just make your morning sad because they barely exist here. When I told some of my students that people in America often eat cereal for breakfast, they were genuinely shocked. And I found that a lot of Japanese people don't really eat bread very much here. And at the grocery store, there are literally like 3 kinds of cereal, and nobody eats them. So look, Japan easily goes toe-to-toe with any other country in the world when it comes to lunch and dinner. But when one of the best breakfasts you can get here is from McDonald's, you know America takes this one. Speaking of McDonald's, this one's actually difficult for me to rate, because as one of the last remaining Neanderthals, I actually love American fast food. Yeah, it's greasy, and it's bad for you. There's probably a pube in there, but it tastes great. But despite that, I have to concede, Japanese fast food is just better. The quality of service and the way the food is prepared is actually amazing. I mean, usually in America, you're lucky if your food even slightly resembles how it looks on the menu. Half the time, my food comes out looking like a hurricane survivor. I mean, I'm still gonna eat it in one gulp, but that's not a good look. But here in Japan, more often than not, the food comes out really well prepared and is served by the most courteous staff you will ever experience in your entire life. Like, it's nuts. I'm spending $2 on a large fry and they're treating me like I just solved Japan's birth rate crisis. Unfortunately, the downside to this great service is that it comes at the cost of the workers. A lot of people here are incredibly overworked and often do really long hours and sometimes even unpaid overtime. But that's a big can of worms and a discussion for a different day. All in all, I think Japanese fast foods got the edge on the US. If this was just beer, then this would be a massacre. Japanese beer is just infinitely better than American beer. No ifs, ands, or buts. American beer is pretty infamous for being, well, for lack of a better word, icky. And while I don't think American beer deserves quite the level of scrutiny it gets from the international community, Japanese beer is just better. And there's a bunch of brands here like Sapporo and Asahi, which make a ridiculous amount of varieties, so it's pretty easy to find that perfect beer. But this isn't just about beer. Alright, this is about all alcohol, from hard liquor to the tasty fruity stuff. And when it comes to all alcohol, the race gets a little tighter. Honestly, in terms of hard liquor, I think America's got the edge. Now, don't get me wrong, this is like comparing chocolate cake to vanilla cake. I still want to eat both in one sitting, and then cry watching Terrace House reruns. I'm not saying that Japan doesn't have great hard liquor. They have amazing hard liquor. Japan's famous for their sake and soju, and they got all the usual fare as well. Whiskey, tequila, wine, and so on and so forth. But I've found that it's pretty uncommon to drink any of that here. Maybe this is just my experience, but Japan is a beer country. Beer is easily the most popular drink here. And because of that, I've like barely had anything here that's over 10% even, because it's beer, lemon sour, or bust. And this is not to say that Japanese people don't drink hard liquor. That's obviously not the case. What I am saying is that out here in rural Aomori, all the old dudes ain't having much more than beer. And I think that's kind of the same all across Japan, like no matter where you live. Also, I can't forget to mention that buying alcohol here is a lot cheaper and way more convenient. Like for 1,000 yen, I can get all of this. And all it took was a short walk to the convenience store, pressing the button to confirm my age, and I'm out of there. No fuss. A bunch of very tasty alcohol, just like that. And yeah, I know, there's obviously tasty stuff back home too, but Japan just makes it so much more convenient, and most importantly, cheaper. So look, all in all, I know as I get older, I'm gonna start to prefer the more expensive, tastier stuff, and I think America does that slightly better. I know that's heresy, and I'm biased, and I'm just a stupid bastard, aren't I? But right now I'm young, and I want stuff that's cheap, tasty, and effective. America has all that stuff too, but just not as good as Japan. So in my opinion, Japan gets this one. So there you have it, my thoughts on some things Japan does better and some things America does better. And I have no doubt in my mind that many of you will disagree with me. So I want to hear what you think in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Deuces.